All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well, being great example to us young brothers. And peace and blessings to the elect. Lord, will not be a part of that number. All right, Lord, will we be a part of that number? All right, I'm the brother Kodarf, and G-Man's been in Chicago. Come back in another video. The video's going to be entitled, The Apocrypha is Canon. All right, and yeah, you got a lot of scoffers saying the Apocrypha isn't real. You know, it's not a real book, and they immediately dismiss it. All right, but in fact, it is canon. All right, it is a part of the Bible. All right, it comes with 1611. All right, and without the Apocrypha, you wouldn't understand the Hellenistic era. All right, you wouldn't understand when Daniel popped up on the scene in the book of Susanna. All right, you want to understand the image. All right, the statue in Daniel. All right, because a part of it was the Greek Empire. All right, and if you completely skip the Apocrypha, you just gonna go from the Persian Empire to Roman Empire. All right, and a lot of our people completely missed that. All right, and which is only meant for the elect. All right, to understand. All right, the rest are blinded, man. All right, but a lot of our people miss that. All right, and that they completely do not understand the Jew nor Greek or the Gentiles, and etc. All right, the Israelite foreigners and etc. All right, because they completely missed out. They completely missed out and have no clue about the Hellenistic era. Okay, this is I was reading this the other day. It's Sirach 17:10. All right, we know Sirach is another word for ecclesiasticus. All right, and I highlighted this in a parenthesis. It says, why is ecclesiasticus shown with the King James Bible? All right, and I'm going to click this link. All right, because it shows you how Esau's tacky, man. He exposes himself. All right, it says the Apocrypha is a selection of the books which were published in the original 1611 King James Bible. These apocryphal books were positioned between the Old and New Testament. All right. It also contained maps and genealogies. All right. So without the Apocrypha, all right, 2 Ezra 13, you wouldn't understand how the northern kingdom of our nation, all right, left the Assyrian captivity and went into the Americas. All right, the Western Hemisphere. You wouldn't understand that. All right, so there's a lot of history that goes, there is a lot of history in the Apocrypha. All right, and it was taken out by the Bible Destruction Group. I believe it was 1850 something. I gotta go back in into history. All right, the exact year it was taken out. All right, but it's only spiritual because the word Apocrypha means sent away, hidden. All right, or sent away. All right, so I'm gonna continue to read. It says these apocryphal books were positioned between the Old and New Testament. It also contained maps and genealogies. The Apocrypha was a part of the KJV for 274 years until being removed in 1885. All right, so yep, I said 1850. All right, 1850 something. I was wrong. Salakia, it was 1885. All right, I forgot about the exact date. All right, we're still on. Okay, cool. It's so it was removed 1885. It says a portion of these books were called Deuterocanonical books by some entities such as the Catholic Church. But that was pretty much the point. You know, they basically tell you that that it's a part of the scriptures, man. All right. So we just gonna go into the history. That was enough of this. This is Tobit 1. Should I start? As a matter of fact, let me start with this first Maccabees 4:38. This is first Maccabees 4:38. It says, and when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profaned and the gates burned up and shrubs growing in a court, as in a forest or in one of the mountains. Yeah, and the priest's chambers pulled down. They rent their clothes and made great lamentation and cast ashes upon their heads. All right. It says, and fell down flat to the ground upon their faces and blew an alarm with a trumpet to cry towards heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. All right, so this goes back to when the Israelites defeated the heathens. All right, and reestablished and redecorated the temple. All right, Hanukkah. All right, Hanukkah. That's how they say it now, Hanukkah. All right, but the Hebrew word Hanukkah, the feast of dedication, which is also in John the 10th chapter. All right, so and the reason why they were so distressed, all right, because the heathens, all right, the Greeks sacrificing pigs in the temple, all right, and spilling the blood of other abominable animals in the temple, man, and that's a great offense. All right, so chose priests of blameless conversations have pleasure in the law. It says, who cleanse the sanctuary and who bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And when they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offering, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathens had defiled it, wherefore they pulled it down, and laid up the stones in the mountains of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come up a prophet to show what should be done with them. All right? Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former. All right, so this is the feast of dedication. All right, pulling down the old, all right, profane, all right, and putting up and building up a new altar and redecorating the temple. All right, I wanted to skip down. I'm gonna skip down to verse 52. It says, now on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslow, in 148 year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice upon the law, according to the law, Salaki, upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in it was dedicated with songs, citars, and harps, and cymbals. Then all the people fell upon their faces and worshiped, and praising the power of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold, and shield and gates. And the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. All right. It says, moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, before the 5 and 20th day of the month of Caslu, with mirth and gladness. And at the time they built up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about it, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they have done before. Right, so they rebuilt a new altar, decorated a temple, pulled down the foul things the heathens put in there, cleansed and cleaned it, and built the fortress, man. All right, so they want to get invaded again. All right, so that's the feast of dedication, man, what the world calls Hanukkah. This world currently calls Hanukkah what we call in the Hebrew Hanak. All right, Hanak. It says John 10 and 22, straight to the point. It says, and it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. All right. So you wouldn't know the origin of the feast of dedication without the Apocrypha. All right, without the book of the First Maccabees, which is a part of the Apocrypha, man. And that alone shows you how it's a part of the Bible. All right, because the Bible without the Apocrypha is incomplete. All right, because it's one, man. All right. Scriptures wouldn't be complete without the Apocrypha, man. Point blank, period. This is look at the book of Tobit 1 and 19. Job 1 and 19. And one of the Ninevites went and complained of me to the king that I buried them and hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death. I withdrew myself for fear, and all my goods were forcibly taken away. And was there anything left me beside my wife Anna and my son Tobias? All right, the Assyrian king was trying to put King Hezekiah to death and Tobit and his family. All right, it says, and there passed not 5, and if you go into the history, that's what we're going into. All right, I'm just going straight to the point. Verse 21, and there passed not 50 days before 2 of his sons killed him. All right, and they fled into the mountains of Araph and Sarkadnis, however you pronounce that. It says, his son reigned in his stead, who appointed over his father's accounts and over all his affairs Achiarchus, my brother, and Anael's son. All right. So the Lord literally put that king to death. All right, and saved Tobias and King Hezekiah. Tobias and his family and King Hezekiah, if you go into the history, man. All right. And it's also in Isaiah 50, is that 53 or 57? 37. 36 on down. It says, then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians, 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of this rock, his god, and that Admiral Melech and Sharazar, his son, smote him with the sword, and they escaped to the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon, his son, reigned instead. All right, so this is all during the Assyrian captivity. All right, and it's also backed up in the Apocrypha. 2 different stories, 2 different accounts. All right, it happened at the same time. All right, because hey, as you see now, you know, a lot of the prophets lived at the same time. All right, and it was another one I want to bring out. Susanna. And I'm close it out. Susanna 1. I think I'm gonna read that tonight. Susanna 1, 45. Start at 42. Susanna 1 and 42. Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting God, that knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be, thou knowest that they have borne false witness against me. And behold, I must die, whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me. All right, so Susanna had faith. She had integrity in the Lord. All right, these 2 wicked elders tried to have sex with her, tried to get her to commit adultery. All right, and she refused. All right, they accused her of committing adultery, and it was about to put her to death. All right, but the Lord, scriptures explain it better than I do. All right, verse 44, and the Lord heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth whose name was Daniel. All right, so this is when Daniel first came on the scene. This is before the book of Daniel. This is before Bel and Dragon. All right, it says, verse 46, who cried with a loud voice, I am clear from the blood of this woman. All right. So, you really would go down. You know, it shows you how Daniel used his wisdom. All right, to prove that the wicked elders was guilty. All right, so that was really all though. All right, just to prove that the Apocrypha is indeed canon. All right, so Lord willing, this is an edifying video. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash, that want us to elders and apostles great millstone. Peace blessed to the full elect. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All right, Ashar, Yawam Kapar. All right, Shalom in the Bible ball.